When I first got into the game, I was really shocked how men would literally pay me just to take me out. Paid me just for my number. I'm not telling anyone to become a 304, but it was one of the most life-changing things that I've ever done. Like, it showed me the true definition of play the game or get played. You know, I was so used to helping a man be a man that I didn't even realize that there's men in the world that will give me exactly what I want and more. So that's exactly why I get on here and I tell y'all never to settle, because there's always a man out there willing to do whatever you want and give you whatever you want.
Most husbands hate their wives. They do. I danced for 4 years. I stripped for 4 years. I danced from 2011 to 2015. I know everything there is to know about men, okay? I've never been naive to the bullshit. I found out male nature for what it was at 19 years old. Never been married before. Don't want to ever be married. Don't ever want to have children. I've just seen too much. I know men too much. My father has also been very honest with me about male nature, and just with him being honest just with his own lifestyle, and just how he operates as a man, and even the men that he surrounds himself around, how they operate. And one thing that I noticed at the strip club is that all the married men would trauma dump on me about their wives, how they weren't attracted to their wives anymore. A lot of them lose attraction for their wives after they have children. They start to feel very neglected after their wife has children, and a lot of them complain about how they their wives let themselves go. They're fat, they're overweight, they don't look as pretty anymore. They bicker a lot, they fight a lot, they nag a lot, they complain a lot. And I think that this is very important information for a lot of women to understand and know, because I just did a video about this, but too many women believe that because their husband hasn't left them, that their husband likes them. And that couldn't be any further than the truth. This is why most of the demographic of, men that are buying escorts and OnlyFans and stuff like that, most of them are married. Most of I always joke around and I always say, there's no man more single than a married man. A lot of them don't like their wives. A lot of them don't. Most of them are just tolerating it. They're just tolerating their wife in a marriage because they still get some benefit. They still get some benefit. And also, a lot of men suffer from male character syndrome. A lot of them, they don't want to be the one to bite the bullet to get a divorce because they don't want to be seen as the bad guy. They rather just have the wife file for divorce and be the one that can just take the heat for breaking up the family. But that is one thing that stripping taught me about men, and that's one reason why I would never get married. If you really were to be a fly on the wall with men and their conversations about women and the conversations about their wives, a lot of women would change their tune on how they view marriage, because I can guarantee you that men aren't viewing it the same way as you. They're saying like, oh, I just fell in love with her and like that's the reason. No, like that's just their politically correct answer. That's just the answer that they have to give so that it will be palatable for people. But when the doors are closed, when the mics are off, when the cameras aren't rolling, and they're in a safe space, they're not saying that that's the reason why they even married the woman in the first place. It's because of something that they're benefiting from in some way, shape, or form. It has nothing to do with the actual woman herself.
So ladies, in this video, we are going to be seeing escorts and 304's sharing some of the things they have learned, the harsh truths they have learned about men. And I believe these ladies spend more time with men than the regular woman, than the average woman. So yeah, why not hear them out? And let me give a disclaimer. Not every woman in this video is a 304 or an escort. Some of them are women who are just sharing their thoughts about, the whole situation. And yeah, let me not trouble too much in the beginning. Let's get right into the video.
5 things I have learned from being an escort for 1 year. Yes, I've been an escort for 1 year many years ago, and for sure it was not the best year of my life. It was quite traumatizing, but I've learned a lot of things about men and men's sexuality, and I think every woman should know these things. Number 1, I don't want to speak in absolutes, but nearly every man either has gone to escorts, will go to an escort, or has thought about going to escorts. If all men could afford going to escorts, more men would go. Men will believe whatever they want to believe and whatever soothes their ego. They will believe that they're amazing in bed, that they are so attractive, that the escort is actually liking them or falling in love with them. None of these things are true. Escorts are amazing actresses. No matter how boring and sexless the marriage is, men will not leave their wives basically out of comfort. They will complain about them and they will seek sex outside of their marriage, but they will not actually leave. Number 5, I know people, especially girls, will hate me for this, but this is the sad truth. New pussy is always the best pussy. There's something in the male biology that they love novelty when it comes to sex. So they can have the most beautiful, intimate connection with their partner. A new pussy always gets them the most excited. This doesn't mean men have to cheat. A lot of men do control themselves for many amazing right reasons, but it doesn't change the fact.
Okay, so all this talking about it, nobody talking about the STD side of it, or am I tripping? Okay, so yeah, let's talk about it. Because in my opinion, a square is more liable to catch a STD from a nigga than a 304. Everybody always has this stereotype of 304s, like they're dirty, you know what I'm saying? Like bitches is just getting ran through by multiple niggas raw, like not paying attention, not giving a fuck about our health, and that couldn't be further from the truth. Because in all actuality, when that's your business and your brand, you're going to take extra precaution to make sure that your body is healthy. Like, what are y'all not getting? Squares are the ones that's running around, not getting tested, fucking is raw because a nigga say they love them or like them or they're beautiful. Squares are the ones in relationships with cheating men who are going around fucking a bunch of women raw or trying to have unprotected sex when they know they're in a relationship. Squares are the ones not getting tested because they feel like since they are in a quote-unquote monogamous relationship that, you know what I'm saying, they're not liable to get burnt, when in reality, you know what I'm saying, you're liable to get burnt anytime you have unprotected sex with somebody else.
And sadly, this is true. Like, the women who are at a higher risk of actually contracting the STDs are wives and girlfriends, you know, because especially the wives, when you're a wife, you don't see a reason to use protection, you know, because I mean, you're already married and you want to believe that your man is faithful to you, but you can never fully trust a man. There is a high number of women who have contracted all these STDs that are not curable in the marriage. You know, you got married to that man when you're clean, he was clean, but down the line you realize that he gave you an infection. And some of these women decide to stay in these marriages because I mean, you're already married, you have kids, and you're already, you know, infected, so you believe that there is nothing more you can do about it. You just have to stay there and, you know, carry on with that marriage. It is so sad. Like, it really breaks my heart that so many women experience this. Like, you could keep yourself, you could try to maintain, you know, a healthy body, only for that man to mess you up totally, and he'll mess you up forever. That's why I, for one, I believe that even in marriages, you must take precaution. Like, it doesn't matter how much you trust that man, you can never trust a human being fully, you know, you can't, like, you just can't. Always have regular testing, and if you feel like something is off, use protection. Yes, I know some people feel like, no, we already married, like that's weird, why are you using protection with your husband? I mean, your health should come first, you know, you should prioritize your health. If you ever get even the slightest intuition that that man is not faithful, you must use protection.
And because unprotected sex is not something that most 304s offer, mind you, I know some people is doing a little bit of everything. This don't apply to every fucking body, but for the most part, that's not something that we offer. Damn sure ain't something I offer. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to us, it's like, yeah, 304s, STDs is a factor always when you're having sex, period. But we go the extra mile to make sure that our sexual health is up to par because it's literally our brand. It's literally what we are selling. Like, who the fuck wants to be out here selling dirty ass, burnt ass pussy? If you're doing that, then you have a mental illness. You, for the most part, you tell 304 you trying to fuck raw, do fucking GFE and bare activities, they're gonna look at you crazy. Or they're gonna tell you to get the fuck out, or they're not gonna hit you back on that text. Like, straight like that. Most of us have our results on hand. Most of us are going to the clinic to get tested and get checkups and things of that nature. I know, no shade, no tea, no shade, but I know some squares right now who cannot provide you the same information on their sexual health that I can or any 304 can. Because for the most part, they're not getting tested. They don't think that shit like that applies to them because they aren't living a high-risk lifestyle, high-risk sexual lifestyle. Even though anytime you have unprotected sex with somebody, you're taking a risk. Literally, if you go to the bar and you meet somebody and y'all get drunk, y'all have drinks, y'all sharing blunts, y'all, you know what I'm saying? You're doing what you do at the bar, and you leave from the bar and you have a one night stand with this person, you're no different than a 304 in the sense that you just had sex with a stranger. And most squares I know, they not really using protection like that. Like I don't know, for whatever reason, people think that they're invincible, they're untouchable. Like, people don't be wrapping it up like how they should. So you're no different from a 304 in the sense that you are living a sexually risky lifestyle. If you're doing stuff like that, you're going to the bar, meeting people, having sex, going to the club, leaving with people. It's the same risk. For real, 304s can teach you a lot about it because, like I said, like, that's our brand, that's our product. So, of course, we have to go the extra mile to make sure that we're good. Full panel screenings, things of that nature. Like, for real, y'all need to tap in with us and learn some little things and learn some little tricks and tools because, like I said, like, we know a little bit more than the average person about keeping up sexual health and just feminine hygiene, period. So, yeah. We know where to get free condoms. We know where to get free testing. We know where to get results quickest. Like, I'm telling y'all, get over the stereotypes. Learn something. And it's like, while you never really know somebody's real sexual health, you never know somebody's results for real until they actually physically show you. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a risk factor involved with anything. Condoms break, things of that nature. But at the same time, there are things that you can do to protect yourself to make sure that somebody else's negligence doesn't ruin your sexual health. And I think that the stigma that 304s are more liable to catch STDs or we're just dirty or this, that, and the third, I think that stigma needs to go away, especially when the case is if you put a 304 and a square in the same room with a nigga and that nigga says, oh, I don't have a condom, only one of us is going to look at him crazy.
I saw a post that said, y'all be thinking it be the good girls that be getting married, but it really be the hoes. And I got an opinion about it. This is why I always tell the girls to do exactly what the fuck they want to do. Stop living for men. Stop doing things because of a man. Stop giving a fuck about how a man portrays you. Because 9 times out of 10, the way that this man wants you to be or wants his ideal woman to be or wants his wife to be like, bitch, he ain't even half of that. He's less than 1/3 of that. 1/4. I done seen so many hoes that are wives now and put up. Don't gotta pay for nothing. With a good man too. And I done seen so many good women, no ring, no commitment, getting cheated on, and then getting cheated on with the same hoes that the man claimed that he don't want. This is why I say the minute that you start giving a fuck about what a man thinks about you, bitch, you already lost. This nigga wants you to be this, that, and the third, and he's not even 1 out of 3. Oh my God, he thinks I'm a hoe. So what? Guess what? This man don't think you're a hoe, but he still ain't marry you. He still cheating on you. He still didn't put you up. So who gives a fuck? Like,
ignore my appearance, ignore my hair. I'm doing laundry, but I wanted to make this video because there are so many people trying to get into 304 talk and actually asking about how they can get started doing S work. And like I said before, I am not going to encourage that type of lifestyle. And the only reason why I'm not is, like, I literally just got attacked yesterday. Like, I work the net, I work the carpet, and I also have been working the blade lately to just increase my income. And I need y'all to understand that, like, I've been doing this 9 years. And if you don't have some type of game or sense about yourself, you're not going to know how to handle a grown man that is trying to attack you. Like, if you don't know how to fight, if you don't know how to defend yourself, if you don't know how to think quickly, this is not going to be the type of job for you. Because shit is going to, it's not if it'll happen, it's when, and if you have the mental capacity to deal with that and keep going. Like, I still have to go to work today. I still have to keep pushing. I can't just cry in a corner.
Like, this is the type of job where you know what to expect, and if you don't have the mental capacity or just the heart to get through it, like, this is the streets for real. You gotta fight tricks, you gotta fight pimps, you gotta fight other bitches. It's not for the weak. It's not this glamorous lifestyle. It can be glamorous. Like, I have my high-end clientele, my high-end dates, my trips, my be getting flued out. But, like, it's a lifestyle, and you want to get out of it as quickly as you can. I'm just in between right now. Like, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do. Y'all watch these other bitches on here lie about the type of money they're making, lie about the lifestyle they're living. And the thing is, a lot of them are living that lifestyle, but they're not telling you the bad parts. They're like, oh, nothing has ever happened to me. A chick has never attacked me. They're fucking lying. Like, a girl just got choked out at the Palms, like, last month, right? She was 35. Been doing this shit for forever. Probably did it all the time. It's just like, all it takes is that one time. But you guys can kind of see the bruise a little bit, but the filter is kind of covering it. But yeah, like, and people are just like, how are you like fine right now? Because it's just like, I'm used to it. And you think, bitch, I don't ever want to get used to something like that. No, you don't. So before you want to sit here and think that you want to go sell some poom poom, do you have what the fuck takes? Are you a weak little ass bitch, or do you have heart? People look at me like I'm 4'11", I have this little innocent face, but I know how to defend myself. I had to fuck nigga up, and now he has a permanent left smile. Bitches die doing this shit. It's not a game. I could die doing this, but I know the risk.
If you're new here, I was a stripper between 2012 and 2016, and I learned a lot about men during the time of me dancing. There was one key thing that I learned about men during my time dancing that completely changed how I viewed them and completely changed how I lived my life. The biggest takeaway that I got learning about men while I was working in the club is that these men do not have standards. They do not. And you're probably thinking like, what? They're constantly on the internet. They're constantly talking about what standards that they have. They're constantly saying that women have to have X, Y, Z. They have to look a certain way. Those are not standards. Those are fantasies, okay? All the things that men are listing in regards to what they like in a woman, it's a fantasy, okay? It is not a standard. When you set a standard and you hold tight to that standard, you would be basing that standard off the fact that it would be something that you could obtain. You actually have the privilege to be able to be in close proximity to that thing. A lot of these men in the strip club, even if there was a woman that had approached them and they were very, very attracted to who, you know, how she looked and who she was, if there was a certain amount of money that this woman required for this man to spend on her, like if she wanted to sell a room right away, if the man didn't want to spend that amount of money for whatever she said was going to take place in the room, he wasn't going to spend that amount of money, either because he didn't have it or just simply because he didn't want to give it. I've seen women with marks on their arms, okay? I'm not going to go into graphic detail, but I've seen these men go into back rooms with women that clearly have TRACK marks on their arms simply because they can afford the woman and the woman is cheap despite her not meeting his standards. And for me, that was very, very, very telling. That was very telling on the behavior that they have in regards to the fantasy that they have with women versus the standards that they have for women. Lilith says this all the time. Men don't have the ability to pick, choose, and refuse. Men oftentimes have to take what they can get. So you have a lot of women out here that are like, oh, well, I'm going to be pure. I'm going to save myself. I'm going to make sure that I don't go out. I'm going to make sure that I don't do X, Y, Z. Let me tell you, there's a woman out there who's bargaining prices way lower than yours. There's a woman out there who she's going to do everything it is that you're promising to do, and she's not going to require anything. And this man could be way more attracted to you than he's attracted to her. But simply because she's willing to do more and he won't have to make as much of an investment into her, that's the woman that he's going to end up dealing with. That's the woman that he's going to end up having long term. They're not standards, okay? They're fantasies, all right? Fantasy is something that you have to dream about, okay? Even them saying, oh, I don't want a woman that's a gold digger, baby. That's in your dreams that you have women that are a gold digger because it's a fantasy that you have enough gold for someone to dig for. Like, you have to be real about this.
You know what? There is a part of me that really sympathizes with these women because I can only imagine the things they have to go through while dealing with these men on a daily, you know? Like, we all know how men act. Men are very aggressive. Men are dangerous, you know? We always see on the internet men offing women, doing all these weird things to women. I can only imagine what they do behind the closed doors, you know? I can only imagine the things these women have to endure on a daily and their mental health, because it is draining dealing with one man. Like, in case you're in a relationship, it can be draining dealing with just one man. Now imagine dealing with a number of men who actually feel entitled to you because they are paying you. Like, I'm not judging or anything, but I really sympathize with these women because it must be a lot. Like, it must be a lot emotionally, physically, mentally.
The fact of the matter is that males see all girls and women as SWers, just at different price points. And those of you who are still pursuing love and looking for your Prince Charming are the cheap ones. The majority of males see all of us as SWers. Some of you will be the stay-at-home mom, SWR, who has to give up a little sucky-sucky when she's menstruating because, that's your duty. Some of you will be the baby mother, SWR, who your baby father can always come and lay with after telling you he wants his family back. Some of you are the friends with benefits, SWR, who they know that they can text every couple of months and gas up, and you'll be on your back. The point is, they see us all as objects to be used for their own pleasure, and none of us are above that. There are so many women who believe that because they're having free sex with men they like, that makes them morally superior to other women. No, baby, you are just a cheap option that he calls when he ain't got it. You are not special because you for free.
So I am married. I have been married for some time now. I also have multiple submissives that serve me and do whatever needs to be done to make sure that I'm kept happy. And that is my life. That is the way I kind of flourish in this world, if you want to say that. So I think I know a thing or two about men, right? And as I've stated before on the podcast, I was a dominatrix for over a decade, and I made a lot of money. And that didn't happen because I didn't know what I was doing. So one huge thing that I think a lot of women miss, right, is this chasing of the man, right? You're the one always texting first. You're the one checking in. You're the one planning the dates. You have to remind him 3 days before your anniversary that the anniversary is coming up because otherwise he's just going to forget. You're the one always initiating things. You're the one picking up, around the house all the time. You're the one, doing all of the work and becoming exhausted, and then you think, oh my God, men suck. Men suck. Men suck. Men are horrible. If they like you and they care about you, they will want to always give to you, right? And so find those men. You can't say all men are shitty when the one that's sitting right in front of you is showing you in every way possible that he doesn't want to give to you, and you just kind of just stick around willing to give to him. And that's why you date sometimes and you're waiting for someone to propose, or you're waiting for like things to get better and they kind of don't. You just keep giving, right? You end up the one always cleaning. You end up the one always cooking. You end up paying like 75% of the bills. You end up like with him using your car to go cheat on you around town, like you end up with those guys, right? Because you don't get it. You don't get the fact that they need to give to you. When they like you, they want to give to you. And they will want to give you everything if they love you, right? So if you meet a man, and literally it's that simple. It's that simple. So if you meet a man who is not giving to you, and remember, not just financially, emotionally, making you feel safe, making you feel protected, letting you know that like you're important to them, checking in on you, making sure you ate. Like when you meet men that don't want to give to you, you should be gone. So I've met men, for example, that wasn't giving to me the way I needed. And then they just didn't hear from me anymore. That was it. I'm not wasting my life trying to figure it out, So I just disappeared.
I always, always, always recommend to married women or women that date men to talk to sex workers. Sex workers know the game. They know the game more than anyone else because they see men for who they truly are without the mask. A husband or a boyfriend is wearing a mask when he's around his girlfriend or wife because he has to tell her what she wants to hear to keep her around, to keep her free services around, and to keep her body around and all the benefits that come with having a woman in your life. Men train their wives and girlfriends to look down on sex workers so the wife will feel superior. But that's for the man's benefits. The reason that they do that is because they do not want you knowing the game, okay? That would ruin everything for them. A man will praise his wife for dressing conservatively, acting conservatively, being quiet and subdued while he is lusting after a sex worker or someone that is completely different looking than the wife. This is why I always say, please, never change anything about yourself for a man. Ever, because they don't have a preference, believe it or not. They will take almost anything because most men cannot pick and choose what they want because they don't have the money or the status to do so. Most men have to choose women that are in their proximity. And the thing about it is that always is in my mind is if men had the opportunities that we have as women, because as a woman, it doesn't matter what you look like, your weight, your height, your color, your age, we get opportunities with men all the time. For us, all it takes is going to the store to buy a gallon of milk. Men don't have that luxury. Most men are not pursued heavily by women because they don't have the money, the looks, the status, or the power in this world. Most men are just average, everyday people, and that's fine. But the point is if they had all the opportunity that we had, or we have every single day, even in death, our body isn't safe at the funeral home. There's been many cases where a cadaver is violated. So if they had the opportunities and they were so heavily pursued like we were, they would be taking most of them. They don't get those opportunities. So if a woman thinks it could never be her man that would be unfaithful, think of if your husband had a bunch of beautiful women clamoring over him all the time. Talk to sex workers. They truly, truly know the game. They see men for what they are. They see reality for what it is.
Sex workers understand men, okay, and what drives them better than it seems good and respectable women do. A lot of you women are obsessed, okay? You're really bought in to the whole provider, okay, archetype of a man. You want a man to provide for you financially, okay? But you want him to do it for free because he loves you, just because he wants to. A lot of the time, sex workers they're on the cliff edge of male behavior and male nature. They are. They don't have to manipulate. They don't have to chase. They don't have to wait years to get anything from a man. That's not how it works. And if you are also naive to believe that the difference between you and them is that that man will respect you and not them, you'd be mistaken. Because actually, the main users of a platform like OnlyFans are men. And actually, a majority of the male users on OnlyFans are married. So listen to that carefully. Because if you think that the man that you're waiting for, the fictitious man in your mind that's going to come along and provide for you financially just because he loves you, okay, there are many of those types of men right now who are users. That means they are paying in some form or another to use that OnlyFans platform. Yeah, and that's just one platform. That doesn't account for all the other platforms and places where men are able to access a woman's sexual labor, sometimes emotional. Because again, when you actually listen to the stories and experiences of sex workers, they're doing more than just physical labor, okay? There's conversation, there's company. Believe it or not. This is why I always say to women, when you think you're better than another woman, a woman who lives a certain lifestyle, who's in a certain line of work, not when it comes to men, you're not. Not when it comes to men. Not when it comes to men. Many of you are doing backflips. You're doing every and anything possible to get that man to provide for you. You are reshaping yourself, reinventing yourself, suppressing your own needs. I mean, some of you are even, unless it is sexual performance you're doing to get his attention and keep him, you're pretending you don't like sex at all. Yeah, you've given up on your sexual needs because now you're trying to be chosen. You want to be picked by that man. Yeah, some of you have kind of created whole new personalities, especially those of you who are religious. You've drank the Kool-Aid entirely when the scripture says transform yourself, make your mind over. You haven't just done it in the spiritual sense, you've gone ahead and done it in every sense so that you can ship shape, you become gas, water, air, just to get chosen. And so I find it interesting when women still, in this day and age, still look down on sex workers. And like I said, you don't have to agree with their choices. But one thing they do know about often more vividly than the good and respectable woman that society has trained you to be, yeah, is male nature and what drives male behavior. Because like I say, you think it's a different type of man that pays for company with a woman. It is not. It is not. Now, you can talk about the character and traits of said man, sure, absolutely. But it's not a different type of man. It is the same male nature and behavior. And so, isn't it funny how they don't have to do all of the things? Because make no bones about it, when you marry these men, especially, again, some of you, right, religious, even the ones who aren't religious, you are willing, you're ready to perform sexual labor. You want to keep him. Yeah, in most religions, they will tell you as a woman that you should not be depriving your husband of sex. So that's part of the deal too. So really, what is the difference? You're giving sex, you're cooking, you're cleaning, you're doing all the good wife, the Proverbs 31, so that he will provide for you financially. What's the difference? This is why it's not good to look down on people. Because like I say, all the women who think that they're better than, more respectable, and of course you've been led to believe even by the men, the same men who partake in those activities, mind you. Yeah, the same men who partake in those activities, even if it was in their youth, before they were saved, before they met you, and you changed their life. Okay? What's the difference? There is none. You're not better than those women. Because many a good and respectable woman has literally been scammed, bamboozled, and completely turned inside out when her marriage isn't what she expected, when that man treats you in a certain way. Yeah, so if you understood male behavior and male nature better, then you wouldn't be in the situations you're in. This is why as women, we should not be expecting perfection from one another, number one. And number two, we just have to sometimes stay in our lane.
Sex workers have the highest standards when it comes to men, and you really should listen to them more. I see so many women who be like, well, you should just hire a sex worker if you just wanted sex. And I'm going to tell you why men end up not doing that. One, they're broke, and they wouldn't be able to afford a sex worker just to be able to have sex with them. Like, two, just from personal experience, I know that sex workers have a very extensive vetting process, especially the ones who are in the field fucking these men. They are the cleanest when it comes to their vaginal health, and they're about their business because whether y'all like it or not, it is a business, a very lucrative one at that. And when you have a business, you have to have certain rules and procedures for that business to be successful. So hating on a sex worker is really going to go against you when really you should be taking notes. And not taking notes in a way to make yourself seem like you are better than because you're not engaging in sex work. Take notes so you know how to deal with men if you are going to be dealing with them in any capacity.
The prostitute that's selling her body probably knows her worth more than you because she's at least getting paid. You guys are giving the goods away, being the placeholder, and then paying him to love you and have sex with you. Like, it makes no logical sense. And I say this with love. I know that I can sound very passionate when I talk about this. I say this with love because this was me. This was me. Like, I want to cry when I think about this stuff because I remember her really, really clearly, that version of me. And thank God that I encountered men that were sent to wake me up. I consider those my biggest life lessons because they woke me up.
If you are trying to book a 304 and you wonder, why doesn't she do AA clients? It's because typically AA clients are the worst clients that you will ever have. It does not matter if you work by yourself or if you have folks. Everyone says the same thing about AA clients. Now, I also think that AA clients are the worst, but my best client was 3 years younger than me, and he was AA. But he was a professional football player, so he's in a whole different league. An AA client usually does not have much money to spend, and they have the most demands ever. In America, AA people are not as highly ranked on the hierarchy as other types of people. So, for an AA man to feel powerful and to have his ego stroked, he likes to feel like he got over, like he won, like he finessed. Typically, AA clients do not read any of your ad copy. They do not read any of your website. They do not read anything at all. They will also complain about your rates. They will try to push your clock. So if they book a 30-minute appointment, they're going to try to make it 40 and be like, well, let me finish. Let me do this. They will nag you. They will get on your nerve. They will try to take advantage in any way possible. Usually, if a crime happens during your date, like robbery or assault or stealthing, it's usually an AA client. Wow. Also, they are the hardest to book usually. They'll text things like available, yo, what's up? And they also do not like to do deposits because typically they don't have as much money as other type of clients. So they are more weary and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my little deposit. Not little deposit. If you have rules in place, they are going to try to bend your rules. Like for me, I charge for my FaceTime verifications. They're going to say, well, you just missed out on money. Why are you arguing back with me? Like most of the time, they're very sassy is what you will find out. Don't take my word for it. Just go figure it out yourself. Not all of them are like this, but 95% of them are.
Lord have mercy. You know it's a bad day when the 304s don't even want to be bothered with the AAs, a.k.a. BLK men. Like, Jesus, y'all can't trick in peace either? You ain't reading the terms and conditions. Old girl say you don't want to pay the deposits, and y'all robbing folks. What's wrong with y'all?
A square's favorite line is, I don't have to sell my body to get my bills paid. Okay, when you're a nurse on your feet for 10 years and your knees start locking up, tell me then that you didn't sell your body. You're not no better than me, and I'm not no better than you. We do completely two different avenues of work. I never wanted to do what you do, and you never wanted to do what I do. We are not the same. I never tried to be you. You should never try to be me. Only thing I advise against is being broke. Shit, find a way to get you some money, as long as you ain't hurt nobody. But don't write off what I do as being beneath you when we all are trying to do the same thing, and that's be comfortable in this little world we live in. But don't treat the 1st and the 15th like a national holiday and then be broke on Monday, gas tank on E, and kids hungry again, and then tell me what I'm doing is wrong. Wow. Wow.
Some of the girlies may get mad when I say this, but people shame women for being prostitute or selling their coochie, but literally, there are girls literally out here just giving it up every day, or maybe even every other day for free, getting nothing in return, making nothing. These people are literally selling their coochies and buying houses. There are girls over here laying on their backs for free, and they still don't have a car. But there are girls selling their coochies and they're buying houses. Anyways, y'all shame women for selling coochie and they're buying houses. Shame the hoes that's laying on their backs for free that ain't got no car or a house. Shame on them.
I'm going to tell you guys something, and I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. Come close. Men love hoes. They love them. They love hoes. Yes. And I'm a former stripper. I would know. I worked at the top of the top strip clubs in the entire world. Okay? Men love hoes. Let me say this. When we get into the hoe game, you know, back in the day, we would think about like, we would think about the girls that were bossed up. They wasn't hoes, but they was talking like hoes do. So we had the Lil Kims, the Foxy Browns, and the Trinas. And so I think that all the other generations start listening to their music and like, you know, maybe they didn't get it for real, but then they got a little something. So then we had Superhead, Cat Stacks. Now we have Selena Powell. You know what I mean? And you cannot be mad at the game. Here's the thing, right? The only way to win the game is to not play the game. When I was a dancer, I sat down with some of the most infamous pimps that you and I probably know, you know what I mean? And I never had a pimp, but I did respect the game, and I did learn a lot from, you know, a lot of the pimps. I sat down with one in particular. I won't say his name, but I'm pretty sure if you know, you know. And he was like, you know, my number one getter, she don't have to use this because she uses this. You feel me? And it's and when I heard that out of his mouth, like that lets you know, like not all pimps, I don't want to say they're smart, but not all of them are dumb. But they know a woman's worth that don't even know her worth. When a man even knows that you can use this and you don't gotta use that, that's letting you know, like, I know your worth, but you don't know your worth, so I'm gonna take advantage of you. You feel me? Can't hate the game. But let me tell you something, you know, the thing, you know, girls don't understand, well, why do men love hoes? These whores. The hoes are exciting. You feel me? And yeah, they're there for a good time, not a long time. The ones that are there for a long time, hey, some break the ice. You feel me? But it's the excitement. It's the fantasy. It's the, I could pay you and you can leave. You feel me? You're not going to cause me a headache because you're just here on my arm. You're just here for, you know, whatever services you're rendering, and then you go, you know what I mean? And not to say that, like, you know, we're not living in a society where, you know, like back in the day, the men shunned the hoes, or the hoes were shunned from society. They were like the black sheep. No, these hoes are glorified hoes. You feel me? And we had the video vixen hoes, you know, from back in the day. And now the hoe game is just, you know what I mean? And I am saying it because I have seen it with my own eyes. You know what I mean? But then you have the smart hoes, the ones that was in Magic City and all these other clubs, and they was shaking ass, and now they done bought houses, and the money that they made from the 2000s, from when Big Meech was doing his thing, they still have, you know, investments to show till today from that money. You feel me? So it's all different kind. The whole game is so far and so wide. It's like the autism spectrum. It's far and wide, you know? And the excitement that the men get, because, you know, you have to think when as a woman that is a you know, we'll call them nightly women,
They have to put on their best game, their best perfume. They have to, they got to look good all the time, because what are they selling? Themselves, right? They are the product, they are the brand. And so why I say this is because when it comes to the average woman, you cannot be mad at the hoes for getting all the good men's and getting all the, the upper echelon men. They're putting in that time and that work within themselves. You get me? And not that they can keep a man, but some hoes can. Some hoes gonna suck it like a Hoover vacuum. You feel me? But what I'm saying is this: you don't have to be a hoe to keep yourself together. Keep yourself together. Keep your nails done. Keep your hair done. Even if you don't have the money to get your nails done and you don't have the money to do these things, you better think like a hoe would think. And I am not going to waste my time if it is not worth any money. If the time I'm spending is not going to, help me to make more money or get me a better life in some kind of way, then why would I invest my time? But the whole game teaches you. You see the hoes that did it wrong, they're bust up, washed up, they still in the club. You 40 years old, still in the club. You're washed. You're through. And I don't care what you sit there and say to me. You cannot make that shit look good. You cannot tell me that your life is amazing and you're 40 years old still shaking ass in the club. You're doing the same shit you were doing in your 20s and your 40s. You came a long way, but you went the wrong way, baby girl. You know what I mean?
304s can absolutely get married. They can absolutely get a ring. They can absolutely get married. Always have, always will. I don't know what delusional world that y'all live in where y'all think that, a woman being promiscuous or having a past of sleeping with a bunch of men will stop a man who want to marry her from marrying her. It's not. Now, if you don't want to marry a woman that's like that, then just speak for yourself. But that does not mean that there's not a man out there who won't marry her. Now, who that man is, the type of man he is, completely different story, right? And we never know. We never know whether or not he's going to be a good man, terrible man. We don't know. But what we do know is 304s have been getting married forever. That has never stopped a man from marrying a woman. It hasn't. I know you want to penalize these women because of the life that they've lived, and I'm not even somebody who is pro whole culture, right? I don't believe in women being promiscuous with their body, right? That's not even my thing. But I ain't gonna sit up and lie either and act like I don't know plenty of women who have lived that type of lifestyle that went on to get married. I probably know more hoes that's married than I do women who was modest, women who were self-proclaimed good women, right? I probably know more hoes married than them. Because one thing about it, if a man want a woman, he gonna get that woman. Just like the men who get online and lie and say that they don't date single mothers, oh, best believe, if he attracted to that woman enough and he like her enough, he gonna play stepdaddy. You cannot listen to what people say on social media. Social media allows people to have standards that they don't actually implement in real life. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say it. I don't know how many times until y'all understand it. This is not what people's real standards are. These are the standards that they wish they had the backbone to implement in real life. But in actuality, most of them don't possess the real options in real life to be picky, to be selective. They out here taking what they can get. They out here taking what they can get. But they'll get online and make you think that it's all of these different criteria that it takes in order for them to be what. No, it don't take all of that. Most of them don't have the type of options to be picky. They taking what they can get. And if that woman looked the way he want her to look and he like her enough, I don't care if she slept with 2,000 men. He'll still be with her. He will. And I don't care what he telling you. I don't care what he get online and say. He will still be with that woman. And he'll be falling out with family members or friends over her.
But understand something about sex workers. Usually, they don't measure life success based on having a committed marriage. They measure life success of having no financial stress. So when you say, oh, she's losing in life in the long run, blah, blah, she's like, okay, I'll lose in my mansion. No worries. I'll cry in my Lamborghini. No worries. I'll sob as I drop the kids to private school. No worries. They measure life success so differently. So when you're trying to put them down and say, oh, well, you're going to end up alone, they don't care about ending up alone. They just don't want to end up with financial debt. Now, but unfortunately, ending up alone is something we all risk. Man, woman, children, not good woman, bad woman. We all have that risk. It's not as simple as only sex workers end up alone.
I, for one, I choose not to judge because I don't know why people do the things they do. I don't know the options they had to choose from, I really don't know, so I choose not to judge these women, and I believe that we all can learn from each other. you know, if you feel like this is not the lifestyle for you, like if you don't like something, you can learn why someone was pushed to do that thing and know what to avoid. So I, for one, I choose not to judge, but instead I pick some notes, you know, and I know what I should do and what I shouldn't do. And also, one thing this video has taught me is that men actually love HOEs. Like, they actually love the 304's. They may pretend that they want the nice girls, you know, they want the girls who are pure, they want the girls who, you know, are innocent, but that's because they know that it's not a good look for them to come out and say they want the 304's, but behind the closed doors, they love them. They love the 304's. They may get with the nice girl just so they can save face, but they will cheat on the nice girl with the 304. And also, men are transactional. Men are very transactional. Their love is transactional. Like, it's all about what they can get from you. They do not care. They really don't care about your feelings, your emotions, you know, all this lovey-dovey stuff. They want what they want. And after they get it, that's it. They really don't care. And I always knew this, but this has actually cemented it for me. Like, it has really confirmed it. Men are transactional, and at the end of the day, you as a woman, when you're dealing with a man, you should also prioritize what you're getting from that relationship. I'm not saying you go out there and, you know, begin selling your body, but even if you're in a committed relationship, make sure that relationship is benefiting you in some way or the other. Always prioritize your needs, you know, prioritize yourself. What are you getting from that man? If he's not adding anything onto you, it's time to check out, because that is how men view relationships. That is how men view women. You know, they view you as a commodity. What are they benefiting from you? So you should also do the same. Like, you should always lead with that. What are you benefiting from that connection? And also, never think that your man is the exception, ladies. Do not, even for once, think that your man is the exception, because you might be in for a rude awakening. But anyways, guys, tell me what you think about this topic in the comment section below. And yeah, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so you get notified each and every time I drop a video. Till next time, I remain Lisa. Peace and love. I love you. Bye.